Cleveland is officially in complete and total chaos. The storm that had been brewing for weeks finally exploded into a full-blown organizational earthquake. Kevin Stefanski has been fired as head coach of the Cleveland Browns after a soul-crushing, franchise-altering 32-13 humiliation at the hands of the New England Patriots, a team everyone had written off as rebuilding, beatable, and harmless. But on that gray Sunday afternoon in Foxborough, they didn't just beat the Browns, they dismantled them piece by piece, exposing every weakness this franchise had been trying so desperately to hide. Ownership had seen enough. They'd endured the boos, the ridicule, the endless cycle of excuses, and when the final whistle blew, there were no drawn-out meetings, no polite internal reviews, no "we'll revisit this later" corporate nonsense. It was swift, brutal, final. Jimmy Haslam and Andrew Berry reportedly called Stefanski into the office for a post-game meeting that lasted less than 10 minutes. No small talk, no justification, no saving grace. Just the words every Browns fan had been waiting to hear. He's done, out, gone. The decision didn't shock anyone. For weeks, the frustration had been boiling over, and the pressure had reached a point of no return. Fans were chanting for Shedeur Sanders at every home game. Talk radio was ablaze with fury. Twitter timelines flooded with Hager Fire Stefanski hashtags, and even the locker room, usually a place of unity, was split down the middle. Veterans whispered doubts about leadership, younger players grew restless waiting for opportunity, and assistants tried to keep things together with nothing but blind hope and empty speeches. Everyone could feel it. The Browns weren't just losing games, they were losing faith. The Patriots game was the breaking point. Dillon Gabriel, the quarterback Stefanski stubbornly hitched his entire career to, played like a man completely out of sync with reality. He threw two of the ugliest interceptions imaginable, balls that will haunt highlight reels for years. One floated directly into the arms of a Patriots linebacker who barely had to move. The other was a desperate heave into triple coverage that felt less like strategy and more like surrender. Gabriel missed wide-open receivers, overthrowing easy touchdowns and skipping passes into the turf. The offense moved like a machine that had forgotten how to function. The broadcast cameras captured it all, the players shaking their heads, the sidelines heavy with disbelief. And then came the shot that said it all. Myles Garrett, the unstoppable defensive beast who had just racked up 5 sacks, sitting alone on the bench, helmet in his hands, eyes closed in silent defeat. He had given everything, and it meant nothing. His effort, his brilliance, his leadership, all wasted by an offense that couldn't get out of its own way, and in that same frame stood Shedeur Sanders. Helmet in hand, jaw tight, eyes burning with focus. He didn't yell or pout. He just watched, waiting. The quarterback Cleveland traded up to draft, the player fans had begged to see, stood ready, like a lion in a cage, while the season crumbled around him. Everyone knew it. Everyone watching at home, everyone in the stadium, everyone in that locker room. This couldn't go on another week. When Stefanski walked into the post-game press conference, he looked like a man who already knew the ending. His face was pale, his voice flat. He repeated the same lifeless script about execution and trusting the process. It was robotic, hollow. When a reporter finally asked the question every Browns fan was screaming, "Coach, do you still believe Dillon Gabriel gives this team the best chance to win?" The silence was deafening. Stefanski froze. You could practically hear the clock start ticking down on his tenure in Cleveland. By the time he mumbled something vague about consistency and system fit, the decision had already been made. Within hours, social media exploded. Fire Stefanski trended at #1 nationwide. Cleveland fans unleashed a storm of rage across every platform, their frustration spilling out in capital letters and fire emojis. Even national voices joined in. Stephen A. Smith called it coaching malpractice. Shannon Sharpe said the Browns were criminally wasting generational talent. Pat McAfee went further, calling the situation the most obvious firing in NFL history. By sunrise Monday, ESPN and every sports outlet in America broke the same headline. The Cleveland Browns have fired Kevin Stefanski. It wasn't mutual, it wasn't amicable, it was over, done. Sources say Stefanski looked genuinely stunned when he was told, but deep down, everyone knew this was inevitable. His stubborn loyalty to Gabriel, the refusal to start Sanders, the public embarrassment, the locker room division. It all came crashing down at once, and the dam finally broke. What happened next, though, was something nobody expected. Inside the Browns facility, when word spread that Stefanski was out, the reaction wasn't quiet or polite. It was explosive. Players high-fived. Laughter filled the hallways for the first time in weeks. One veteran reportedly said, "It's about damn time. Everyone in this building wants Shedeur starting." The mood shifted instantly, from exhaustion to energy, from defeat to hope. It was like the whole organization exhaled at once, and in the middle of all that noise, Shedeur Sanders remained calm. No celebration, no social media victory laps, no interviews, just quiet composure. He reportedly walked up to a group of receivers, nodded once, and said, "Let's get to work." That's it. Simple. Focused. The mark of someone who had been ready for this exact moment all along. By that afternoon, the NFL world was on fire. Shedeur time was trending everywhere. Sports shows debated not if he'd start, but when. Analysts called him the most anticipated debut since Patrick Mahomes. Nike even reposted his latest commercial with the caption, "The future belongs to those who are ready." It was perfect, symbolic, unmistakable. The message was clear. The future of the Cleveland Browns had officially arrived. This isn't just a coaching change. It's a total philosophical reset. For years, the Browns have been paralyzed by their own pride, protecting bad decisions, doubling down on failure, and pretending dysfunction was part of a plan. That era is over. This move means ownership finally cares more about winning than saving face. It means the players' voices matter. It means the fans were right all along. And for Shedeur Sanders, this is more than an opportunity. It's destiny. The son of Deion Sanders has been groomed for the spotlight since childhood. He's faced pressure his entire life and never cracked. He survived brutal seasons at Colorado, carried an entire program on his shoulders, and came out sharper, calmer, and stronger. He knows how to lead. He knows how to fight. And more importantly, he knows how to win. His first NFL start will be under the brightest spotlight imaginable. Every throw, every read, every mistake will be dissected. The weight of Cleveland's endless quarterback curse will rest squarely on his shoulders. But Shedeur isn't just another quarterback stepping into chaos. He's a force built by it. He's the answer to years of frustration, the spark of something new. He may not be perfect in his debut. There will be bumps, growing pains, tough